We have Raleigh here too today,
Raleigh's
so
on
we're
the
gonna
show.
figure that out. Hey, it's Bad Mom Jokes, and I can see my bathroom. Wait. No.
Oh wait, I shouldn't get up.
Oh wait. Yeah.
It's
stay
Bad
there.
Mom Jokes, and I can see my
Ew,
bathroom.
that's actually my husband's dungeon.
It will
It's
remind
so
you
disgusting.
to clean it, and that's
Oh no, that's why it's a dungeon. Because I don't go in that bathroom.
He has his own bathroom just because it's gross and you don't want to deal with it.
Disgusting.
Really?
His toilet's been broken for a year now.
What kind of
And
broken?
a faucet.
Like
you
it
have
does-
to
like
the flusher
reach in
doesn't
it,
work.
So that's a man bathroom.
Hey Raleigh, how's it going?
Are you the host of the show?
Yeah, she's my unofficial host. She's like telling it how it is at 4. I'm here with Jen O'Donnell. She is so amazingly talented and funny. You wear many hats.
Yeah, I do. No puffs, but
Well, now you want to wear some puffs? We can find you some
kind of
puffs.
cool. You don't have to find me new ones, but maybe someday.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I wear many hats.
Yeah, because you do stand-up, you produce.
Yep.
You host your own podcast with Solange.
Yeah. I
Take Down
podcast.
Yeah.
I have a web series where I also interview people.
Oh,
But
is this
Skype.
new?
Yeah. No, I've had it for a
Okay.
while. It's just like a slow burn.
Okay, nice.
And then I run a show called Ladies Room.
Yeah.
That's my show.
Yeah.
And then stand up. And then I work in reality TV.
That's right. And so you're
That's
doing
my
that
day
still.
job.
Okay.
Yeah. Which now is a part-time consulting job.
Got it.
So it's like enough to just like keep going and also like keep your like a foot in that door in a way too.
The legitimate entertainment, I
yeah.
get paid door.
I get paid door.
Wait, Raleigh, I want to see Jen. So you need to stay down if you're going to be in the video.
Yeah. The like I get paid door, things are real door. Yeah. And also, yeah, exactly.
So you really see two different sides of the entertainment industry.
For sure.
You see the creative, let's do our own thing and have a really unique voice.
Yes.
Maybe meaningful and significant, and then the one that gets paid.
Yes.
That's in complete contrast.
Yeah, and I would say a lot of times it is in totally complete because I work a lot of times in. So mainly what I do when I consult is like I work in development, which is all new stuff. So like they'll be like, we want to pitch this to this network. So we write up a treatment. That's what I do, or like develop the show, format the show, make it, pitch it to a network. They say no 9 times out of 10,
right.
9.5 times out of 10.
And what do they say? Like, what's the type of pitch they say yes to?
Usually things that are like. The main thing, the way to like get something up fastest is usually like it's a show that makes sense because the company you work for has done a similar show like it and they want their version.
It's proven.
It's like a proven track record, proven production company. Something that's just like really, really loud or like buzzworthy.
Yeah, that it'll trend.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the last company I was at, my friend who we've worked together for a super long time in a development meeting 4 years ago was like, I know this is going to sound crazy, but pimple popping is a thing. And everybody in the room was like, what? And now that show, Dr. Pimple Popper, is like the #1 show on cable television.
Hilarious.
But it always starts with like, I know that this is something that people will talk
wild.
about.
Yeah.
And not just that, but like it has legs to sustain. Like that Dr. Sandra Lee, had like a huge Snapchat following.
Got it.
She's somebody who...
So she's a dermatologist.
She's a dermatologist. She's like, she's good on camera. She wants to be on camera. There's people who already are watching it. People are going to talk about it because they're like, one, it's so buzzy because they're like, reality TV's really jumping the shark. People are popping but like those are
in public.
Yep. Those are always things that like, because there's always so many more layers to like why that is satisfying or interesting to people.
Well, everyone's had pimples and knows how good it feels.
It's super
when it
relatable.
pops.
It's very satisfying, which is why people were watching it in general. I think there's a whole other layer because it's really interesting to me that like people in our country are living in a world where people don't have access to good health care. And that show is about getting access to healthcare. Like it's about people who are like, I've had this thing on my body. It's affected my life. I can't date. I can't move on. I can't whatever. And it's and it's or like I'm not in a position where this is like elected, you know. So anyway, those are always the most interesting things to me.
So if you could pitch a show that you would like to get a green light, like something that you would be like, I can get behind this and do this my whole life. I love this idea, but the audience is not, like, it's not proven.
Right.
Is that it? Do you have that like dream?
Yeah,
I mean, not that you maybe want to talk about it now, because it's like your baby.
I have 100.
But something.
And I think that like the audience is, I think the audience is being diversified because we have the internet now. Instead of like there being 6 networks that are for women and women's programming, now we have an entire world where we're just making like smaller channels, like smaller verticals, digital verticals. So instead of there being 6 networks that are for women, there's an entire, there's digital
online
platforms,
presence.
and then people who are just like making their own content, and women are finding it, or people are finding it. I say women because generally
that would be sorry, not to cut you off, but that's a tricky thing, is finding that audience, because they're there. You see the women memes trending.
I literally
how do you capture them?
I wrote a comment on, are you in a Facebook group called Comedy Gal Pro Tips?
I'm not, and I'm also horrible at Facebook.
Yeah, that's what
it
happens
sounds like
is
a great group.
I purposely signed out at Twitter for like a while, and at this point I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about Twitter.
Yeah.
And what I do on Facebook is I will check it once a day, and then like comment on pictures, comment on things, send a mess, whatever. And then the next day it's too late because like the whole conversation's already happened. I'm like, oh yeah, right. I forgot that I said this thing.
Right.
But I think it's part of my
staying
personal
on top of it.
Social media survival is like once a day check in, and then you can't. But that's not how social media works. Social media works best if you are constantly just like barraging people with stuff. So
it's true.
I'm bad at it. But anyway, there was a conversation about that idea that like, the question was kind of like, how do we get marginalized audiences to come to our shows? Mm-hmm. And it's a little less about like, the point that I was generally trying to make was like, the audience is marginalized, not just like because like everything about them is marginalized. Like they're not able to go find comedy. They don't have the time and the privilege of time and energy to like be fans. Like, and the comparison I was making
busy.
was right.
Yeah.
So like the comparison
holding
I made
it all
was
together.
Like,
What is fucking glue?
Right? And it's true. Like so the point I made was like, Joe Rogan has a podcast on the internet that is like for men like him who have been like, comedy has been tailor-made for them their whole lives. So they just like watch comedy and it's been made for them, and they consume it and they become fans and they comment, which bumps the algorithm, and they make fan pages and they go see him live and they buy the merch. And the equivalent of his audience for us is like cleaning their bathrooms.
Cleaning their bathrooms. Like that's right. Yeah, no, it's true. Older men have a lot of time on their hands and a lot of money.
So like it's basically men with time and money who are able to support people. So, and they're going to support people, and so it's just this like chicken and egg thing. Yeah. Because the people who are marketable have a market, but they only have a market because the market can support them. So it's just like super cyclical.
Yes,
so like like I said, a woman who like is doing the invisible labor around her house and is so exhausted at the end of the night that she can't even search Netflix for female comedy special. So Netflix isn't going to make that because it's not profitable. There's not a market. So it's just like this like really cyclical thing, which I would be really bummed about if I didn't think that it was changing and that it was being equalized because of the internet.
Yeah. Well, your generation's changing things.
I think so.
Really changing things.
Yeah, I think too that I think it feels like a slow burn because like we're in it, but I don't think this change has ever been so rapid, which is also why most men are losing their shit. And that's like you can't say anything anymore. Right. Because it's just like, this is the first time that the audience has ever been democratized. So like they have a say for the first time ever. So
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's the older men, and the reason I think it's changing is because the younger men, they were raised in a different America. They had a different, like the 80s were brutal on women, and that's what I grew up with. And I think, I'm guessing you're about 10 years behind me, had a very different media stream than I did. And so did the boys alongside you. And I see what my son is getting, and it's phenomenal. Like, the reboot of She-Ra is so fantastic.
I know. I haven't watched.
I have because I watch with kids because I can. But I loved She-Ra as a kid. But let's face it, she was a porn star and didn't really have much of a personality. And this time around, oh my God.
I randomly got like a ticket to like a women's media professionals event that was like a stupid amount of money for a ticket. But like my friend was like, I have one. I was like, great. And they had the panel of all of the writers, all of the producers of She-Ra, and they were talking about like the process of it being an all women's writers' room, the process of like who they brought on to be like who loved this cartoon. You're on the show. Who didn't get access to this cartoon and wished they had it, and now can talk to more groups. You're on the show. Wow. So I haven't watched it because it's just like,
Jen,
life's short.
Oh my God.
I know. I really, but I gave all of my nieces the pins and stuff, and I told them to watch, so.
It's phenomenal because there's so many strong characters that are female, and there is one male character that's very supportive and a friend, and it's not sexual.
What?
And or it's like it's just, and the women have different sides to their personality. The girls, I should say, they're like teenage age. Yeah. They have every side to their personality. It's not just
they're like
note.
Developed real people.
Yeah.
Imagine
with
that.
Feelings and insecurities and triumphs.
Doesn't that make you like? I feel like when so my nieces, and I have a few of them, but the two who I was with, my sister got married in Jamaica over the summer. And so we were getting ready in the hotel room for her wedding, and my mom and my sister are there, and then my nieces are there. They're 8 and 12. And when we're getting ready, I put on Lizzo, and my mom and my sister were like, who is this? Huh. And I was like, oh, and I just like left it playing. And my nieces came in the room and knew every single word.
Interesting.
Which is so interesting to me because at that point she wasn't getting radio play, but young girls were finding her on the internet. Mm-hmm. But older, like my sister and my mom, who weren't in those like channels, who aren't on Discover, on, my nieces are on TikTok and Snapchat, and they're seeing those songs and getting, so I was like, they're going to be so much more ahead.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have access to any of those. I mean, it was two things. It was like not knowing that they existed and like the inability to access them. And like, even like Napster for me, I was in 7th grade.
Right.
And I was super into like pop punk and punk rock in like 7th, 8th high school. But that meant really aligning myself with all of the men or the boys who liked that music.
That's right. That was the closest we could get. It was
the closest we could get.
We had to become a man, but in the world, we're a woman.
Yeah.
So the boys don't look at us and go, "Oh yeah, you're totally down." They're like, "You're still a pair of boobs on legs."
Yeah. And then I spent a lot of time growing up as a teenager, especially like othering myself from other women because I was like, well, I'm not like them because I like this.
Right.
Not knowing that this, and what I was attracted to in that regard was this like rebellious energy, like artists who were like making stuff.
Right.
That's what I was attracted to, but had no, like, just didn't have the language or the ability to like know that I was like, oh, but they like don't think I'm a person. And I'm singing along.
Exactly. We're like, we're singing along with the enemy, basically.
Right.
And having
because
no voice of our own.
Yeah. Because I just didn't know. I didn't have the access to it. Or I didn't know that they existed.
Sure. And that makes me so happy. I'm just going to say this really quick, Raleigh, and we're going to break for peach drink.
Oh, peach drink.
Because someone is bored with YouTube. Because my son could watch YouTube all day, but this one here is much more like wants to interact, which is great.
I love it.
I love it too.
What, do you like to listen to music?
Do you like music, sweetie pie? She's like, I don't want to be a part of this. This is for grown-ups, so this is boring.
Okay,
she doesn't even want to watch She-Ra with me because I like it. So therefore, then if mom likes it, it's not cool. My son's into it. Yeah. He's a little bit older, but what makes me so happy to hear about that panel and it confirms what I suspected is there's a conscious effort to define the female sensibility in a way. I'm getting chills that has never happened before.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I've seen it in comic books. I'm seeing it in cartoons, music. What I longed for as a child, which was who am I, is finally happening. So young women can identify with it. It's so great.
Yeah. Like we're not a monolith anymore. Like it's not like, oh, there's a girl there, so like she'll cover half of the poppopulation.
Yeah, and be like brainless and like not important
Disney
to the story.
Songs? What songs do you like? Disney. Do you like songs from Frozen?
I'm Frozen.
What about Moana? I love Moana.
That's a Disney song.
That's a Disney song too.
I love Disney songs.
Yeah. Disney has it figured out,
Those
man.
are your jams.
Yeah, they have it figured out. And I do think it started with Frozen in a lot of ways. Because you have two female roles that are really strong. And
I remember seeing it and like that movie blowing my mind because I had no idea what I was getting into.
Yeah. Did you see it in the movie theater?
I saw it in the theater with a friend of mine and we both were like, I just was like, oh my God, I've seen this. I did not see this coming.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting? And you love Just Dance because you love to dance. And we have so much fun with Just Dance. Yeah. Well, and what's interesting, it was initially unsuccessful.
Frozen.
Yeah, it wasn't until the music was released and it started it became this like weird slow hit. Yeah, and then
because
they're like,
it just didn't blow up right away.
No, it was a slow burst. But then when it started to blow, it was just, and I think the internet and YouTube. Yeah. Because then when people do all these videos dressed as Frozen, dressed as Elsa or Anna.
Yep. Yeah, because those like sing-along internet videos were like everywhere.
Yeah. So it took a couple years, but then it just.
I used to have an Elsa dress, but I don't.
It doesn't fit anymore.
I want it.
Oh, maybe Santa will bring a new one.
Santa could get you a new Elsa dress.
That could happen. Okay, so yes.
I want the queen dress, not the ice dress.
Oh, there's different Elsa dresses.
Did you have the ice dress before?
Yeah.
Yeah, and now you just want something new. Change it up.
I want the queen
The coronation one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do know
Before
that.
she turns into the frozen princess or whatever.
Same thing, which I said in
What is
front
that?
of her.
Oh.
Which I like looked at my hair.
Oh.
Whoops.
But you're fine.
And she was over there, and I don't know. I listened to everything every adult said ever.
Yeah.
So before we started recording, I was like, "Ugh, my hair, it's awful." Because I mean, frankly, it is right now. I literally, I put it in hot rollers, and it just like totally fell, and I sprayed it, and I'm like, "What? I haven't gotten highlights," and I was just like, "My hair looks awful." And then I like saw her there, and I was like, but it's okay.
But only the younger guests are conscious of her listening. Like I'm not. And my other friends who are my age, we sit there, we call women guys. We talk about whatever. We don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I wonder, we're like men walking around in women's bodies.
That's really interesting. Well, is there just like a bigger? Okay,
I think you're more aware.
One, I'm not a parent, so I have no idea. And I'm not used to talking around kids as much as you are. So, like, for me, it's more of an awareness that there is a kid around.
I don't think so. I think you'll be more aware when it's your own kid.
Yeah, which makes me nervous.
Which makes you a great mom.
Everything counts.
No, but really, you'll be a great mom because even if you're just doing it a percentage of the time, you're human.
It's enough. Yeah, you're
it's
human.
Enough.
And if
They're
you're like,
feel...
if you're like making an effort to, then they will notice.
Yeah. I mean, if you dial it back, like my son has teachers right now that are from the dark ages, and it's brutal. And he's with them 6 hours a day. So I'm like, shit, now they're more of an influence.
Right.
Publicly shaming and humiliating them, using all the other kids, to shame whoever's talking. Like really, like military grade, like military school grade.
Yeah, right. And you're like, this is 6 hours a day of your development. And
he's like dying. Yeah.
Is it a question of, are the teachers in that school and they're not retiring? Like, what's the...
Yeah, I mean, they're very high.
problem?
They have ranking. They have seniority.
Yeah.
They produce results.
Yep.
So the parents like them.
Yeah.
Because they see all the work coming home and they're like, whoa, my kid's writing in first grade, you know?
Right.
And they're not really, really looking at... I think
like
a few of us are looking at it.
Yeah, that's good.
We know.
And that's all it takes, I think, too.
Yeah, but she's not changing. This is not going to change. So I have to really evaluate heavily, what can he endure?
He'll have a new teacher next year. It's not like a specific...
Yes, but last year he had a yeller, old-fashioned teacher that was like your classic Chinese mom, let's say, yelling, not really knowing who's who.
Right.
And they're 5, stop that! Come over here! Hits them on the head with a book if they're talking. Things you shouldn't do. I don't even think...
Things that you're like, no, I don't
legally they should be doing. Yeah. But they do.
Yeah. But they're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's interesting.
I think it's an interesting conversation. I also think as a kid, was probably much more hyper aware of adults than other kids might have been. Yes. I think and that's why I became a comedian, or that's why I am the way I am. But I think I assumed that all kids were like me, where I basically was just walking around being like,
same.
Got it.
We're
Great.
Similar that way.
Yeah.
If you were an adult, I was studying you.
I wanted to know. I wanted to know everything. Mm-hmm. I wanted to hear what you were saying, and I would go and emulate it. I would be like, this is what we're playing. So I don't know if I was hyper aware as a kid, and most kids aren't, and I'm assuming that they are because I was. I don't know.
I noticed that other kids weren't. I was doing a lot of fantasy about what it would be like to be an adult.
To be a grown-up, yeah. And
she's that way.
Yeah.
She is listening and recording, and I forget. Because my son's like, huh, what'd you say?
I'm watching YouTube. And she's when I walked in, she was watching a baking video. And it really amused me. Because I was this is literally what I do. She's just sitting there watching a cake get frosted.
Yeah,
just
and then she'll do it.
Having a great time. And I was like, hell yeah. That is
She is a little lady. It's true.
She is. She
tidied her kitchen before you came over. She's the first dressed every morning.
Yep. Yeah. She was just let's make nice things. Let's make this world better. And I'm like, great. I love it. Sign me up.
But see, I do feel will be more sensitive to the... So where my son is I don't know, I can't remember when she did that to me. Mm-hmm. I think one thing happens, that'll shape the rest of her life because she's really recording and remembering all of that stuff. Did you feel any kind of fear of the adults that were... I did too.
Well, and even I went to the LA County Fair. This past
weekend.
I
saw that. I thought
love
that's what
fair.
that was.
I know. I just saw that. I was love it. On your other account, you followed me. I followed you back.
I can't believe I wasn't following you.
I know. I didn't know that.
I was how am I not following Jen?
I follow you on Bad Mom Jokes.
Yeah.
So I think I just,
But still.
But yeah, I went to the fair because I love the fair. And now I forget what I was telling this story. The fair.
Kids being afraid of adults.
Oh, yeah. So I was in the miniature train section. I love small things.
I love it.
Tiny kitchens.
We could talk for miniatures for an hour now that I know that.
Miniatures really, really amuse me. I
went through a whole phase in junior high. I still have a lot of my
dollhouses.
Yes.
I love tiny things. They're very satisfying to me. I also just picked up a book at the dollar book sale called The Miniaturist, and it's I don't know. It's basically a beach read, but it's for Christmas time, which I always like to have, just some fiction story that seems kind of BS. And it's a woman marries into this family unwillingly, but is given a tiny dollhouse and develops a relationship with the miniatures. And I was like, yeah, sign me up. It's tiny things. I love tiny things. And now I'm also forgetting why I said this. Oh, so we're at the trains. And I love it because it's just I'm not into trains, but there's all these little western towns and little tiny golden and I loved it. And I'm looking, and there was a kid who just runs up to him and grabs a train, right? And you're just
no.
And the guy, the conductor, we'll call him, who's running the just this happens all the time. Goes to the kid and is no, we don't touch things. And the kid just was and walked away. And I was if that happened to me when I was a child, I would have been mortified. I would have been like, I am never going to the trains again. This day is ruined. Like, I would have been so terrified by a stranger telling me not to do something. And the fact that the guy, the conductor, was so like, this is all that, I was like, is this just like how kids are? And I'm like, are they different now? Was I different? I don't know, because I'm like, again, not in kid world a lot, but it was an experience where I was just like, it seems like he does this a lot.
I want to wager you were not the kid that would have ever done that.
No, never.
So I think that's what it is. The kid that has the balls to reach into a display and grab the train like it's his needs that kind of like, no, because that's my son.
That's a good point.
My daughter also would be mortified if an adult spoke to her that way. Yeah. But she also wouldn't dream of touching a display that does not belong to her. So I think that might be where it is.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I just was never.
But I'm dying that you're into miniatures.
I love miniatures.
We could sidetrack on this for a while because
I love them.
So do I.
This is
and
great.
So does Raleigh. And we've had discussions not only of decorating my childhood dollhouse. Well, it's actually from high school. I built it. Anyways. The whole thing.
Do you have it here?
Oh, yes, I do. My mom kept it all these years. I know. I have videos about it, and I'm like, I don't think anyone's ever going to watch this, but I kind of need to do this.
I love it. I do.
Yeah. And so we were talking about decorating it for Christmas.
Oh, that's so fun.
And she had the idea of decorating for Halloween and got really into it. So that's probably going to happen.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for this episode. That's a great, and plus, I mean,
I don't know if I'll make it into a video because I'm so exhausted.
Right.
But yes,
no pressure.
No, okay. But for Jen, I love you, so I'm like, we need to do this for Jen.
I mean, make it a memory. Yeah, you have that, and then just tell no. The decorations will be so cheap. You know, you just gotta buy like little pencils.
Cut the 99 cent
tiny
ones
pumpkins.
Into,
like, yeah. I've been following a lot more miniature accounts on Instagram.
Oh my God.
Obviously, I love the
whole
tiny
rabbit
kitchen.
hole.
It is
one of your rabbit holes.
Yeah, but it's not quite enough. I'll say this only because who cares? It never went anywhere. But I was like, I would 100%. You know how they have the tiny kitchen shows? I was like, I would totally watch a decorating miniature show. And like a few things. One, I haven't just found the person who's actually doing it. Because it's like one thing to be like, let's create this show. Right. I was like, you could do a contest. I don't know. I think it's a very niche audience for a very niche thing.
They do well on YouTube though. People love watching like people play with miniatures and dolls. They'll like make things out of nothing. You know, they'll like I think
I'm a little less interested in the making process. I like for food and tiny food. But I want to see the legit miniatures. I want to see the legit, like, I want to see a room styled in miniatures. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Also, speaking of the fair, kind of like miniatures related, one of the things I love to see at the fair is, have you been to the LA County Fair?
I have not, which is crazy. I mean, my husband used to go every year. We skipped this year because we're in a gluten-free situation with my daughter. So it's painful.
The fair is expensive. It's like...
Is it?
I mean, for Jeremy and I to go for the night, we were like,
spent a lot of money.
$200.
Okay, yeah.
But we love the fair, so it's like
you
worth
clearly went all in.
We went all in. Yeah. Because you can't just kind of go to the fair. You have to be like, we're going to buy a giant sprinkled donut. We're going to try to win a prize. We're going to
Did you win a prize?
Hell yeah, I did. Yeah. I bought a cobbler from a woman when we were leaving, even though I was really full, but she was just standing there all alone at her cobbler stand.
You're like, I can't pass it by.
For 25 minutes. I follow her on Instagram, Cobbler Mania. Like, I love everything about the fair, including, like, all of the, they have the, like, convention rooms set, or convention, like, not rooms, but like centers set up. Mm-hmm. And the arts and crafts is great because it's like people who love it. Like it's just people who are like home crafters who are like, this is the fucking big show. Like we are going all out for the fair. They have, there's a photography one, there's costumery, there's quilting, there's Christmas door decorating.
Oh my gosh.
And then there's the baking section, which I was reading the rules because I was like, look, I feel like if I just plan a little bit in advance that I could just place. I could place.
Oh my God, I love you.
Because one is like there's different categories for each thing. So you see the cookie, like there's some categories that are like best like fondant decorated cake. So like there's categories and there's like a theme. So like if you can incorporate the theme, you're gonna get ahead. I was like, there's a real strategy to this.
Yeah.
Everything from like preserves to muffins to like this is the #1 cornbread.
Right. I have to know what your thing is going to be.
I don't know yet.
Oh, you don't know?
I don't know.
But if you pick a thing.
I mostly am being a little bit strategic because I'm like, I want a place.
Is there a key lime?
I love key lime.
I love key lime.
I love a key lime.
I'm all about key lime.
I'm more like, I don't know if the thing that
I'm
I
asking
make
selfishly.
Best, yeah, no, like, please, we can both enter. Let's make this an interesting thing. But I'm like, if I want a ribbon. Like, let's just be honest. Yeah. I want a ribbon. I don't care what color it is, what place I'm in.
How many places are there?
There's like a lot. I feel
You're like there's 10 ribbons. I'm getting the chartreuse ribbon.
There is, no, I mean, so there's like, there's first, second, third in multiple categories. So like what I'm saying is 300 people every year are going home from the LA County Fair
with
a ribbon.
Oh my God.
And I feel like I could be one of them.
I feel you could. You have this.
So
I can tell in your demeanor that you've got it.
And if it's not, because I actually don't bake. I love cooking, but I don't bake. It's like, I don't know. It's very specific and it's a lot of math.
I'm the opposite. I love baking. I hate cooking, but with kids that doesn't work out, especially with one that's diabetic.
Right.
So got to get some cooking in there.
Yeah.
Real food.
Yeah. Because the baking thing is like, oh, I don't have this one thing, which means I can't do the whole thing and I have to plan in advance. Whereas where I do best with cooking is like, this is what we have. What can we do? That's where I really shine.
Got it. And see, I feel the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've always got my baking supplies.
Yeah,
I'll never run out of flour. I'll
too.
never run out of sugar because I'm like, I know I need that.
But even like the supplies I don't have. Like when you say a springform pan, I'm like, do I have that? Is
all right,
that
I'm not that advanced.
Yeah.
I
don't
can make
there's
do.
like things that I'm like, I'm going to substitute this wax paper
when
for
I
something.
say I like baking, I've never made a croissant. You know what I mean? Like I'm not advanced.
I really haven't either, but
I will now.
I do love a croissant.
Yeah.
Maybe I have made it before because I remember it being a lot of like layer butter. I think that was what's the Greek dessert?
Oh,
baklava.
Like yeah.
But that with the same thing, like layered
advanced.
butter. Yeah, which is I think similar to the croissant making process.
Got it.
For all of you, I have no idea. I have not.
We're gonna find our bakers
on this. Yeah.
I want to have the energy for this, but I'm hoping that I do, and I'm going to post the whole video just like or unscripted, the whole shebang.
I think that's smart.
Whole fucking hour, whatever it is.
That's what you call it.
And whatever those 10 whole fucking hour, like to the bitter end. Yeah. And there are treats at the end, okay?
Yeah,
there's little
stay
tidbits.
tuned.
Stay tuned.
Baking,
for those of us
tips.
that just like to let it run, you know?
Yeah,
and then I think I might section it off. Like this could be our baking.
A little
section.
baking
So
clip.
you find those people that just want to watch that clip.
Yes.
But it's editing, and which we both know takes a lot of time. So when I'm 90, it'll all be there for everyone to enjoy.
Such a fun relic. You can do like a time capsule unveiling.
Yes.
Like this is those 20 years ago.
This is the resolution from 20 years ago. Look how
I hope that we're not like,
pixelated.
wow, we were so hopeful. But
isn't that the beauty?
Yeah.
Isn't that the beauty
of
it?
Yeah,
I wish I had the hopefulness of my 20s mixed with the experience of my...
Yes. Yeah. No,
I want to ask you, though, about Ladies' Room, because I'm really curious, because you produce a show, and it's all women, all female comics. You do it once a month?
Once a month,
yeah.
Third Saturdays of the month.
And here's my question, because I see what's so great about the comedy scene in LA. Women are going out to support other women.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are also stand-up comedians. Like, how do we reach out to the women of LA that want to go to a comedy show but maybe don't know about it? Like, how is that for you?
Yeah.
Like, where are you at with that?
Yes.
Like,
so it's interesting, too, that you say that, because I feel like, so I hosted... Ladies' Room was started now almost 3 years ago, and which is crazy. I know.
That's a run.
I really want to just outlast this presidency.
You can do it. Well, unless he becomes a dictator, which I have all these theories that are crazy.
And the reason for that is that the first Ladies' Room show was 3 days after the election, which
How did you laugh? Was it just like, it's too soon? This will be funny a year from now.
It was so hard. Jesse Stegner and I were the ones who started it. We're both very similar as far as like preparation goes. So the format for the show was that we would write a topical monologue each show and memorize it, but also give it enough air to like make it feel like kind of natural. Like,
that's impressive.
It was really hard too.
Do you still do that every month?
I still write a topical monologue, but what I do is I do 5 minutes at the top, but then I just am doing jokes that I'm working on too.
Sure.
So I'll kind of like thread, and even like today, like the show's Saturday.
Yeah.
So I have all of the jokes that I've been like working on this month.
That's
I'm like,
Jen.
but they're all like brand new and they're like not good yet. And so tomorrow and Friday, I'm like, okay, I'll go to this mic and then I'll go to this mic and then I'll practice that at home. But that's the reason why like I have this job now where I was like, no, I can't have a full-time job.
No.
Because I need Thursday and Friday every week to work on comedy in some way. And sometimes that feels like I do it and I'm like, well, that was a waste. I could have just been like making money. You know?
I don't think so. I am really impressed with that turnaround. I mean, you're producing a show like a pro, but not getting paid.
Yeah, which I think like, yeah, right, exactly.
But
I'm not getting paid, but I do think...
Because I know what it takes to like write, and it's one thing to write, it's another thing to put it on its legs and perform it in front of people.
Totally.
For me, that's a much longer process than a week. And for most people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm at the point where the idea of getting paid to do that, I think that the value, I'm kind of leveraging the value of it versus the amount of money it's making. Because I know that I can write a topical monologue, produce it, or produce a whole show, and do that monologue at the show.
Yeah.
And all of that is such valuable experience for me.
Absolutely.
That like, if I really was going to get, and I should do this actually, if I were to write down what my rate is as a professional, which I am a professional development person.
Yeah.
If I were to write that down and then put it into how much I would charge ladies' room for what I do, there's no way that any comedy show, the amount of money that I would bring in would ever come close to bringing in that value.
Yeah.
So I frankly just like have said the money that I would make it's not like that just goes back into the show.
Right? That's not, but for a television show that is advertised or supported, of course, they can pay the writers.
Which I think that doing that is leveraging those opportunities so it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if I'm producing a show and I need a female writer or whatever, a writer, and I know that you're cranking out that kind of...
Right.
It's like, okay, she can do this.
Right.
You know, she's
there's
proven.
the track record.
Exactly.
And she's been doing it, which means two things. One, she can do it, and two, she wants to do it.
Yeah, and she can sustain it.
Yeah, because I think what's really sucky about a lot of entertainment jobs is that all of us, like writing on a show, hosting a show, all of us are trying to get jobs that we don't even know if we want or would be good at. Yeah. So the only way to know is to do small versions of it, like you doing a talk show or whatever.
Right.
Because not only is it like honing your skills, but it's like if there's a person at a network who's like, but if we're going to like actually put money into this person, like, is this a sure bet? Like, is she going to deliver? Does she want to actually be doing this? Can she do it?
Absolutely. And that's another layer of the onion. Because, like, I'm doing this, right? But then it's like, well, what if she can do that in her bedroom with nobody watching? What if there's a whole crew?
Which happens all the time.
Yeah. Or, like, people saying, no, Alyssa, you've got to say this. You can't say that. And she's like, ooh.
It was interesting to be on the other side of the camera for the first time when reality and unscripted TV really wanted to capitalize on YouTube celebrities. And
you were there for that.
Yeah, I mean,
interesting.
This was 2010.
Yeah, I know
when
exactly
it was
what
like
you're talking about.
Everybody, they have millions of followers, they have a huge audience. We can take those people and we can translate them to television. And it's like everybody really crashed and burned on that model. I mean, not everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in seeing like Lily Singh is so interesting to me that she was able to take that YouTube platform and then transfer
I've
that
met her.
to.
She's a total machine.
Yeah.
I think she could probably do it if anyone can. Yeah.
But I don't even think it's a question of if she can do it. It's more like, is the audience going to follow her?
No, probably not.
And is even like the She Shoots Her Show in the Room, I'm thinking of one person in particular who I won't like say, but once,
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
we could say her name.
I mean,
are you friends with her?
No, I'm not. But
I
also
Grace Hilbert.
No,
because she got a show on E.
Oh right, yeah.
And I have to say, it just didn't have the magic.
It didn't have because she wasn't self-producing it. It wasn't like intimate.
And I think maybe it was just not. It was just not her. Yeah, it was. Yeah, the producers probably said, no, you're gonna interview this person. You're gonna do it this way. Right. And she was like, I'm in a box, you know?
And the audience loved her because she wasn't in a box. Yeah. So, like, how do you do it? So, and that's the thing.
It's a lot of risk.
It's a lot of risk. Yeah. And it's interesting, too, because those audiences are invested, not just, like their interest, but they're financially invested. Like, they actually built those people. I think about this a lot in terms of my fiance, who's a YouTuber. And I say that with like a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek because he's more like, I mean, he plays video games on the internet. Yeah, he's a YouTuber. Let's just call it what it is.
That's a huge industry.
It is a huge industry.
Yeah, and video games is like right up there with pornography. Yeah. Like what we do is never going to make money. Right. We're just like out here being like, we have a voice and it matters. So everyone's like, shut up.
So I watch a lot of, I watch his process a lot in what that, the audience who he is a Patreon, so like people will give him a couple bucks a month to support him as an artist.
Yeah.
He'll live stream, so people will pay him like $1.
Yeah.
Oh look, I'm in. It's somebody here to give us $1.
I like this episode where that cheerleader.
Oh, you don't like the episode? Or
are you wanting to watch something different?
Yeah, the heart.
She's watching this DC superhero girls. Cool. Yeah, there's so much cool stuff. I want to be a kid again.
I know.
Oh, the Love Girl. Okay, so do you want me to
episode?
skip it or do you want to do a new show? Do you want to be with us?
You want to hang with us?
Careful, Raleigh, careful. Are you
just
okay?
like the DC superheroes.
Yeah, right? Look at us.
Just like in the morning when they drink tea.
Little wiser.
So anyway, they are
less spandex.
I mean, I would wear more.
I would totally wear more.
I'm like, should I have a pair of biker shorts? Probably.
That's a thing.
They're everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm like,
the 90s are so bad.
I was like, well, the thighs chafe? Maybe not. I don't know. They're worth a try.
I just don't need my knees to be out there. They're calloused from children going up and down, up and down.
Oh my God. That is a hazard I know nothing about.
Where is superhero? Where's Wonder Woman's mom?
Oh, you want to watch that episode where the mom tries to come and take her back to wherever their magical land?
The toy.
Oh, I don't know where we could get the toy. I've never seen it.
No, from Declan's birthday.
I have no idea.
For the party favors.
It's probably in his toy box in your bedroom. Go check it out. Okay.
Do a rummage.
And you haven't beeped, right? I'm just trusting her to tell me if her alarms go off. How are we doing on time? Okay. Are we getting close?
Oh no, it's not even 11 yet, so we're okay.
Yeah, you guys get to suffer some more. You ladies, or whoever's watching. Honestly, it probably is a lot of men, because men love watching women no matter what we're saying. So
well, that's good. I think that they should be listening, even if they're hate listening.
Yeah,
I'm always like, if they're hate listening, they're still picking up something.
Oh, for sure.
Because here's the thing. I hate listen to all kinds of things that men are saying. Like, I'll listen to Jordan Peterson, because that way I'm just like, guess what? I know exactly how to defend myself.
I love it.
But I also think that it develops a certain amount of empathy and understanding, which is also a big part. Right. Because it's so easy to be like, well, I hate you because you think that, and then instead be like, oh, you're thinking that because of this, and I actually have a solution to that. I have a theory for a solution if you would just listen to me.
I think that's really smart to not just disregard or put yourself in like an echo chamber.
Yeah, I really try not to, but it can be, It can be,
but then how do you like, does it create any kind of anxiety though? Like,
yeah, all the time.
And then so what do you do with that? Here she is. I don't think this is Wonder
Who is
Woman's
this?
mom. I think this is just what all the kids at school said that it was one. I think this is the Green Lantern's like girlfriend or sister or something. I think it has to do with the or Loki.
She looks powerful.
Or, yeah, I don't know that this is really Wonder Woman's mom, but this is a DC character, and I'm sure all of you will scream at me and tell me who it is if there are men that are
all the men who are hate watching. Don't even know who Loki is, which frankly I don't.
Yeah. I'm a Marvel girl myself, so DC is I'm still figuring out all the DC characters.
Yeah.
So I did want to get to
I know we left a few
it's okay.
things off.
I'm actually enjoying everything because I knew that with you I could just be like and go. I know you've got things to tell me and updates and it's been a while.
I could talk forever.
We could do this. I do want to do this at the end. I think I'm gonna do like a long. What did you call these videos? The satisfying.
Oh, satisfying videos.
Satisfying
it's funny
videos.
because so now I've talked about satisfying videos twice here. I must be really into them.
No, I brought it up.
Because miniatures are also satisfying.
Oh, you're right.
Maybe that's my future.
That's your thing.
The final end, okay?
What's the final end?
This is the final
Oh, you're trying to end my video? Okay, come back in like 10, 15 minutes and we'll do the final
Good.
end.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
There isn't almost a video that goes by that I don't talk about your reference to these being a perfect satisfying video with the sequence.
I just must love satisfying things. This actually, this is full circle.
It is.
I'm like, now I'm just playing with it behind me like this.
Well, and you and your husband were gonna do the Hoogali or whatever.
Oh yeah, we have our Hooga project still going.
Is it still in development?
No, we're doing it. He released it via which circles back to what we were talking about. He released it to just his Patreon subscribers.
Okay.
And that's what I was going to say. The audiences are literally invested because they have literally given these creators money.
So I can see her.
So they're like, we made you. So how dare you go
out
to a network and do other things?
Yeah,
like
so
we literally made you.
Yeah.
And
so you have to be sensitive
I think
to
in
that.
some regards it comes from a place of like love because they're like, you're a creator who we love, and
don't sell out.
Yeah, and we gave you money to
Okay, well, I thank you for the share. That's a beautiful ladybug nightlight.
I know this ladybug nightlight.
Do you? Do you have a niece with one?
Yes, I do. Paige.
Yeah, this was a very special birthday gift from Gaga, my mom. Yeah, that's a fun one.
Those are cool.
Very sweet. Thank you. So you're doing that project with him.
We're doing that project. And that's the other thing with Ladies Room I was going to say.
Oh, wait, just a minute, Raleigh. I can't see her. You can block me, but you can't block Jen. I'm here every week. I don't get her every week.
It's also much easier to produce an all-women stand-up comedy show when you have a partner who is a graphic designer and an editor. Because that means that that's honestly, I do pay him to do the posters. Nowhere close to what his rate is or anything that would be fair, but just like for the principle of it.
For the goodwill.
Yeah. But like he films the show. He is the one who's like, he helps so much, and a lot of people don't have that. But so that's the other thing is like, I'm like, I have the resources to do a like fair show that I could make it whatever I want, so why don't I just do that?
Right. And then do you feel that you're finding the women that aren't just supporting comedy, but that are
that's the thing.
Like following it week to week or month to month?
About.
Yeah. And
so when I started the show in Hollywood, I was at 3 clubs, which like a lot more comedians and people who do comedy are there. It's Hollywood. It's much easier to like get to 3 of clubs. It's on Hollywood and Vine. We were there for 2 years. And I think that was great because it built sort of like a following of people who would like go there on a Wednesday night. If they were comedians, if they had a friend in the show, whatever it might be, that was a good way to like start it off. Mm-hmm. When I moved it to West Side, I was like, what's interesting about this as a new challenge is that what I'm really challenging myself to do is build a real audience. Yeah. Because not saying that those people aren't real people, but what I'm saying is people who wouldn't normally be able to discover women in comedy. That's what I'm kind of really trying to figure out. So West Side Comedy Theater is the only comedy theater on the West Side. Mm-hmm. It is in an area where it's either people who have...
Are you doing it at West Side Comedy?
At West Side Comedy
now.
I
didn't realize that. That's so exciting.
Since
I've
like
been
March.
In a hole.
It's been like, and there's been a couple shows because of their festival, and like and our October show is canceled because of their festival. So like it's getting off the ground.
the festival with the groups, the improv troops?
That's
okay,
in
got it.
October. Yeah. So basically now that it's at West Side, what that means, if you look at that audience, is there's a lot of tourists. There's a lot of like me marketing to Santa Monica, Brentwood, people on the West Side who would come out to a show. Generally means what I'm looking for is, like, the other day I went to the Landmark Theater on Pico, which I said this to somebody recently and they were like, yeah, it's old people. But I was like, I mean, really, it's like people with money go to that theater. Like, it's an expensive theater. It's a nice theater. It's kind of like hidden. And they also, like, you know, are showing films that you're not going to, like, maybe even see. Sometimes I think even at ArcLight.
Hey, look, but old people have time and money.
They have time and money. And not only that, and when I'm saying old people, I mean,
and I
literally
say it with the kindest regard because we are, I mean, I'm marching my way there, so I will soon be that.
And even taking olds out of the equation, people with time and money who want to support the arts, who don't know what to find, who even are like moms, teachers, professional women who like, they don't have time to like go figure out what to do on a Saturday night with like their book club or their group of mom friends or their whatever. I'm like, I am right now finding them. So that's the goal, is to find groups of people like that to be like, come to this show.
I can get you a group
that's
for sure.
where women are speaking and you will relate and then you will tell more people about. And so, so it's not only like producing a show and finding the talent and curating the talent and do it and writing my monologue. It's also producing an audience, like figuring out how to get people in those seats. And I think that those people, what I'm really aiming for are women who haven't typically been marketed to. Okay. And it is tough because there's like, you know.
I think you can do it though on the West Side, and because that's my thing is, if I do a show in Hollywood, I'm probably not going to get many moms that will drive across town.
Yeah.
And then I'm at the stage where most of the shows I do are really late at night, odd hours, and they're not going to go out.
6 o'clock on a Saturday.
Yeah, which is great.
So it's like you can either, that can be your night, you're done at 7:30, that's when you're out,
or you can go out for a drink
you go
with
out
the
for
ladies.
a drink.
Yeah. So I could tell you right now, I can make it a mom's night out for Mom's Club of Santa Monica.
This is who I'm
now
targeting.
That I'm hearing it. So that's exciting.
Okay, good to know.
Because we do
Third
go to West Side
Saturdays,
Comedy. It's
Santa
just
Monica.
been about a year, you know. So,
right. And even, it was funny, I had my hair blown out last week, and my hairdresser, I was like telling her that I do comedy, and I was like, oh, and I have a show. I was like, it's at this, and it's here. And I was like, oh, I have a card, because I'm obnoxious, and I just will do that. And she was like, wait. This is our West Side Comedy Theater, like the one that's like in the alley in Santa Monica? I was like, yeah. And she's like, I go there all the time. I go there with my friends like on Tuesday night. And I was like, I need to find people like this who just like go out and they like want to find something that is made for them. They just like don't know where to find it.
Absolutely.
So anyway, when I went to that movie theater, I went to that Cold Stone that was across the street, and I was like, I'll just leave a giant stack of ladies' room cards here. And just like where are like people are trying to find us and we're trying to find them. So like, how do I bridge that gap?
Yeah.
Or people who don't even know that they're trying to find us. That's the other
like moms that just and women that just need, because all women.
Right, all women. Yeah.
I talk to young women that are like, I love comedy.
Right.
You know.
So and this was what I was so bummed about, but this is rescheduled. The October show, the headliner is a gal who did the show a few months ago. Her name's Ginny Hogan. I met her at the West Side Comedy Festival, actually.
Oh, cool.
She's super funny. She just wrote a book called Toxic Femininity in the Workplace. And it's satire, and it's like funny essays. And so she released the book like 2 weeks ago. So I was like, in October, if you want to headline the show, you can do like a reading from the book, and we can like make it like part of the promotion for the book. And then I was like, I could do, because I'm in a book club and I love book people. So I was like, I could like post that in Facebook groups that I'm in for book things, you know? So like get the book clubs in with that show. And then the next show will be maybe,
do the cross promotion.
Kind of, yeah. Absolutely. That's the idea, is to try to like, it's me trying to like find women.
Yeah, and so you guys are new. How long have you been in that space?
Since March. So,
so a little bit, but summer's probably tricky.
Yeah, and I was in a wedding. I was in Jesse's wedding, who was the one who I started the ladies' room show. Happened to be a third Saturday in June, and then my sister's wedding happened to be the third Saturday in July.
You're not available,
so,
right?
Yeah. So I ended up having Solange headlined a show, and then I had Julie Austin guest host one of them.
Great.
And then Winter Spears, who's done the show a few times, who I love, reached out to me, and she was like, I want to do a headlining set, and I was like, okay. And I was like, do you want to do July? And so she did July, and then originally I was going to have her host with Nikki Bailey because they host a clean mic together.
Okay.
And I thought that was interesting too because I was like, there are people who already host a show together. It's a clean mic, which means that they have a specific audience that comes to that. So why don't I give them this show and give them this, and then they can, and it was great. And so, but I missed both shows. So
yeah, but you're keeping that going, that momentum. So that's really important.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is a lot. I'm listening to you.
I'm dizzy just saying that. I'm tired.
I'm sorry to remind you of everything.
I'm shedding too. Okay, so yeah.
So Solange and you host the podcast.
Yeah, Take Down the Patriarchy, which we're currently on a hiatus.
Oh, you are? Okay,
yeah,
but
it was just what the honest truth is, I was like, this is one thing that I can take a beat from.
Yes.
She's finishing her salsa dancing memoir.
Yeah.
So it's been a few months.
Right. And because I have her scheduled to come in here finally.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Yeah, I think either next week or the week after. Hopefully there's no illnesses or anything. It is fall. So.
Yeah.
Or almost fall. Well, actually, by the time I post this, it's going to be Christmas.
It'll be Merry Christmas.
They're like, Happy New Year.
I hope you enjoyed her
Where are
miniature
our sweaters?
video
We're
where she
sweating.
decorated her dollhouse for the holidays.
I'll just put a clip in. So, can I talk about this? Because I know there's been a little thread about maybe another ladies' mic.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Because her and I've been for a while now trying to lock down a location for a mic. And her and I have been talking back and forth, and I just haven't gotten on top of it.
So we're currently in an Instagram message about this.
Yes. So that's exciting, the possibility of a mic.
So this was Saturday. That because we were talking about it for a bit to do a mic.
Here, sit. There you go. Okay.
Because first of all, a mic close to my house, I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
Especially on the west side.
We all need that.
Well, Fanatic I try to go to as much as possible.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Which night do you go?
Thursday.
Okay.
But not that often.
One where it's like, it always says if you want notes, and I never want to go to those mics.
You could, but I would say...
I just can't even handle that.
Half, if not, listening to other people's feedback or getting feedback yourself.
Yeah, I know.
Because I would say a majority, 60% of people, when the host is like, do you want feedback, will be like, no thanks. So you don't. But
I guess I just don't even like the tone that sets. I don't know what that is about me. I don't know if I've had too many classes. And, I just can't even. I don't know. I would say that it affects the vibe a little bit less than you think it might. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I've been to the one on Friday, but it's kind of scary.
Yeah, me too.
And
same.
Yeah, and same. But I'm kind of one of those, I almost think I like weirdness and darkness. I don't know what that is about me.
Yep.
It's like I'm comfortable when I'm uncomfortable.
Yep.
And when I'm almost more afraid of the ladies' mics because I don't know what that is. I think
too many warm hugs.
I think I get in my head more the more female brains that are in the room. Mm-hmm. Because I hear all the female brains talking really.
Right.
I hear we all have, for survival, I really think we have critical minds that work overtime.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that energy makes me really self-conscious.
I get it.
And then my critical brain turns on.
So it just has a different effect on your vibe.
I'm really sensitive to that. Yeah. Where with guys, there's nothing, it's just white noise.
Yeah.
And then I can work in that.
Yeah. And you're like, but
I like the silence.
Yeah. And also, I don't know, if you consider women to be your eventual and main audience, in some ways, well, one, I don't know if that's true or not, but
I don't know yet. Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
So what can you?
It's interesting because I did this whole, Funniest Housewives thing this summer.
That's right. Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun.
Yep.
I really expected the audience to be a bunch of moms, and there were actually a lot of older men.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So that was an interesting, like, oh shit, this wasn't, the first time around I was like, oh shit, this is going to be harder than I thought.
Were they looking for somebody to bring home?
No, they were there with women.
Funny housewives.
No, it was very much
that's
just
great.
Middle-aged to older men and women that like to go see comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where was that festival?
That was actually, it was a series of shows that were competitions, different rounds of competitions, and it was in San Clemente. And it seated about 150 people. Yep. Most of them sold out, but I was in kind of like always the first round, so it seemed like we got like 100 people. It wasn't completely sold out, so it was a little harder, but yeah. Because it was a weird space to be doing comedy in. Yeah,
that's interesting though, and I think the audience they're able to pull in is different, and like that's what I almost like about Santa Monica in the same regard, is that it almost feels a bit like the suburbs of LA in a way, which for me is closer to a quote-unquote television audience.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's still Santa Monica, so it's still a very specific, different lean.
Sure.
But I feel like it's much more closer to a television audience than being at the 3 clubs in Hollywood on a Wednesday night is. And that's the goal for me in that regard is, and I think that two things, which is frustrating, is one, I do think that a lot of my stuff speaks to women. But a big problem that I also have is that I have interests, or the things that I find interesting and the things that I take a really deep dive into tend to be things that men are more interested in, but only because, generally speaking, they have the time and privilege to be able to get interested in them. So my goal is kind of always to be like, how do I show these worlds to more people? Because men have access to these things and women generally don't.
Well, and I don't know if you found this, but being raised in a time, for me specifically in the 80s, where it was a more male perspective and sensibility, I think my sensibility is more skewed.
Yes. Yeah,
male.
Me too. Yeah. My sensibility was skewed male, and in the same way, as a high schooler when I was super interested in punk rock or super interested, I mean this is the opposite of punk rock, but not for me personally, but I was a reader, and I still am a reader.
Same.
And so I was just I was never, and this is the other challenging part, I'm definitely a dork. I have just a wealth of information about things that you don't need. Asking me about the JFK assassination, right? But I'm not a nerd. I have when you say the Marvel Universe, I'm I could maybe name one person. Yeah. There's definitely a difference as far as marketability goes when you're a comedian, because because nerd is marketable, especially I think as a woman, you could put yourself in that box and find an audience.
Sure.
But I'm not a nerd.
I'm
a dork who wants to talk about the JFK assassination or miniatures.
Yeah, I knit, so I get you. I feel you there. I even was going to comment.
What? Yeah, that's what you should be doing at the LA County Fair.
That's what I was going to say when you were talking about the crafting. I'm I know there's a knitting room where you can just go, pay to get in, and sit there and
get some ribbons
in the knitting room. Yeah.
That you could definitely, you could ribbon for that. I made that.
I don't know about ribbon.
I don't know.
We'll see, but I'm just completely. This is our dorkiness. I can sit there and dork out.
Now you want to talk about JFK.
I know. Well, I think I even told you this last time, but for the longest time, I thought J.D. Salinger was a woman.
That's awesome.
And I loved 9 Stories and Franny and Zoe and all of it. And when I read Catcher in the Rye and found out, I was heartbroken.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
Because here I thought I had a female.
I have 100 examples of that. You might want to.
What?
I got this at the Mar Vista Library a couple years ago. I'm it's a book called My Salinger Year, which is written by a woman who worked for his agent and for a year, and it's kind of your Devil Wears Prada type of vibe, where she's wants to work in publishing and she's a writer and blah, blah. But it just gives you a little bit of a peek into
that world.
Him.
Yeah.
I like to read books around things I'm interested in. I mean, her agent super was.
Yeah.
Because you would have to have a certain level of dysfunction, I imagine, to be
that person. Yeah, and make that happen.
Yeah. I read a book I'm a little bit obsessed with Nora Ephron also.
Okay.
And I've read all of her books, but so her best friend wrote a book about her.
Interesting.
And like that, those are always like really my shit. When it's like a thing that's like loosely around a thing I'm interested in, because I'm like, I've generally read enough of that. I want to know
a new way into this.
The rest of it. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, but I got that at the library and it was pretty good. I don't know. It's I don't know. I sometimes I'm hesitant to recommend books because I don't want to like obligate people to read them.
I'm not that way at all.
Because you'll just be like, nah.
No, my husband, he's not a big reader and he has guilt about it.
Yeah.
And people will tell him about a book and he has a stack of books here and he wants to finish each one, but he never will. But I'm the type of person, I'll open a book, I will just skim it and decide. I will read. If I don't like it, I'm like,
nope, no shame.
I've got
no shame in your book game.
No, no shame at all because I know I'm going to find something I love and devour it and not sleep at night.
That's the best.
And
there's
amazing.
Nothing better. And then I get the book ads after. It's tragic.
For sure, when it ends and you're like, I'm going to have to find a new home.
It's rough. Yeah. I finished a book the other night and Jeremy was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
He's the same way though, where he's not really a reader and I am. But I play no video games and it's his whole life.
I'm not a video gamer either.
It's not for me.
Yeah, everyone has their thing.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Totally. I won't guilt him.
Jen, I feel my brain is exploding with things that I feel I still want to talk to you about, so you have to come back.
I would love to, anytime. Okay. I would love to come back anytime.
Great.
Oh, I was like, we didn't finish the mic that we're going to start.
Oh, yeah, but that, that's really more like me taking care of business on camera.
I love that.
It's like I'm never going to get around to this because the moment this camera turns, I might look relaxed and I'm drinking my coffee and I'm pushing my daughter out of frame.
Then we got to take out our calendars.
But the moment this turns off, it's going to be cleaning up dog puke, pee, laundry, lunch, dishes.
Not this bathroom.
Not this bathroom. I'm not going near that one. No way. I mean, even we have a housekeeper. She only comes once every 2 weeks because I need help. And
I think that's a smart way to do it.
Honestly, I'd love to do more, but until. You know who I love? Joan Rivers.
I was just gonna say I just got her. I was reading Still Talking, which is one of the books she wrote.
Love it.
It's really so. I'm reading that, and I'm also reading. Actually, you might. It's super dated, but like. So in some ways charmingly dated, but in some ways just like straight up like this is racist and like bullshit sexist.
Right.
But Barbara Walters wrote a book called How to Talk to Practically Anybody About Practically Anything.
Interesting.
I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
But I also picked up Joan Rivers' one and Still Talking. And like in both regards, it's funny because I feel like what you're reading is in some ways just like a really like humble brag about like everybody who they've ever like sat down with.
Funny. I could see her doing that for sure.
So I'm like, speaking of JFK, I'm sorry. I'll just do one more.
No, please.
When we were, when I was reading Barbara Walters' book, it literally starts off with, like, to imagine the time and place for this, she is like, I was talking to Aristotle Onassis, who Jackie Onassis married, right? But at that point, he was still a bachelor. So, like, when she wrote this book, Jackie Kennedy was still Jackie Kennedy.
Right.
Which, like, when I started reading it, I was like, is there going to be anything relevant? But it actually is just such a, like, little time capsule.
Sure.
Of, like, it's interesting to read. But the same with Joan Rivers, where, like, she talks about, there's a story in her book about meeting Rupert Murdoch's wife.
Yeah.
And she was like, we, like, hit it off at a party. And I left being like, oh, God, I just made another friend. And she was like, now I'm going to have her over for lunch.
Now I'm going to have to include her in my book.
Yep. And then, like, months went by, and neither of them afterwards had, like, reached out to each other, which, like, frankly, just that happens, right?
Of
like,
course.
And you're like, oh, I always, like, meant like that. Yeah, you can't keep, right? But what happened with them is that it turned into, because neither of them had, it like turned into this like rivalry. So they just like started to hate each other for no reason because of that.
How convenient.
Right. But like, think about like the fact that she would like, that this was her experience. And then not only that, but she would like print that too, is really interesting to me. Cause like, imagine that like, but she just like, that's who she is.
Yeah. I think, though, when celebrities build a rivalry, it's really a way to get more people interested in them.
Yeah.
Right?
So she would be more
it's
apt
mutually
to just
beneficial for both
it's
of them.
It's a mutually
to stay
beneficial
on the radar.
rivalry. Yeah. I mean, that's
sure.
rap generally.
Yeah, like
hip-hop.
is Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt, are they really fighting all these years, or is it just a way to stay in the tabloids, right? I mean, maybe I'm cynical, but I feel like, like the Cardi B and I don't know.
I don't remember.
Not Rihanna, is it? It's someone else that's like always at it.
Forgetting.
And it's like they stay in the conversation as long as they're like sending me like
I think
Instagrams to each other.
It's interesting too that I find that like
publicity stunt, basically. Yeah.
I find that like pandering and stupid. But I'm like,
you still get in.
No, I don't. Yeah, but I'm like, does it work?
It absolutely
people
it
definitely do.
Yeah,
but I'm like, but do I? And I just like don't even realize it.
Yeah.
You know, am I just being like, I don't?
I know about it because I turn on the radio.
Yeah, but I probably am not.
I mean, I think we all have those carnal desires, and then we have to say like, but what am I really encouraging
I feel like
here?
I just always want people to get along.
Yeah, but that's great. So you're not like you're not. Anyways, I was about to start in on roast battles, but I don't know that we have the time.
Yeah,
but
I could never do it.
Yeah, because. Or like roasting someone on their birthday, or I feel like I can't either, but someone's asking me to, but I don't really know the comedian.
I know, that's the hard part
but
too.
I really love the guy organizing it, and I would love to have some stage time, so I'm like, well, can I just do my jokes? And he's like, yeah, you could, or you could like, and he's trying to, but maybe I'll just go and have fun.
I am trying to be like, can I live in a world as a comedian and not like
make fun of people?
Yeah.
I think I do have it inside of me, but it has to be someone I either love or I hate. I can't just come up with roasts about someone, that's not how my mind works.
Yeah. I told Jeremy, because he's like a person who, I mean, this is pillow talk too, but like pillow talk that's not being recorded. Yeah. Like I was like, the thing is that I would be really good at it.
I think you would.
I was like, frankly, I would just probably be too devastating. And he was like, go to sleep. Because I was like, I could say some mean shit. Oops. Yeah, but I just like one, I totally could and great. But two, like, where does that get me? And do I want to live in that world forever? And I really don't.
Yeah.
Not that like this would open up all the opportunities for everything and I would become that person.
I don't know though. I have fun watching it. Like I love going to the roast battle.
See, I
Comedy
don't like
Store.
to watch
I love it. I love it. And then I go, but I just don't have that skill set.
And you know what? I'd never have gone. I'll watch.
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun.
No, but I watch live on Twitter, and I'm like, I feel, there's like a German word for it, where like when you feel a physical symptom for being embarrassed for another person.
Oh, whoa.
And when I watch it, it makes me so uncomfortable.
Oh, see, I think everyone's having fun.
Probably everybody who has ever talked shit about a roast battle has been like, oh, I would be so good at it, and that's exactly me right now. Right. But like, I don't know. I'm like, it's not for me, so I'm just gonna avoid it.
Right.
That seems like my solution for
for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, because so are you going to do the roast part of, are you going to do this?
I don't think I can.
Is it a birthday one?
It's a birthday roast, and I don't think I can because I really don't have anything to say about this. I've only seen her stand up a couple times, and she's kind of fabulous, and so I'd probably just get up there and be like complimenting her,
We did, Jesse and I, for I think it was Valentine's Day show, for our monologue, we did a toast battle where we just did
one up toast. I love that,
and it was fun. And we were like, this is so fun. What if this is a thing? Yeah. And then we were like, I don't know, it's a little bit limiting.
Ellen did that. She did like you one up with kind remarks. And it was really adorable.
Well, I did it first, Ellen.
She did it a while ago. I'm just kidding.
No, you stole it. Let's be honest.
It's stolen.
You stole it from Ellen.
Well, why I brought up Joan Rivers is because I get self-conscious when I say live that I have someone that helps me once every 2 weeks, and someone that I pay to clean the house. When I'm working like a dog into the night to keep it clean alongside her. I mean, she's in and out in an hour and a half and does a few things, but I feel self-conscious, like that I'm like this evil white woman that like is hiring someone to help clean, or I'm too privileged or whatever. Yeah. It's really interesting where Joan Rivers would talk to, say, a successful actress and be like, you should never cook, you should never clean, that's not your job, you're an actress, like you should be doing that.
That's your job. Yeah.
And I want more of that to be, I can write, I can do this, I feel like men feel okay just being like, this is what I do, so this is all I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And I want to, part of this is giving myself permission to be like, I can also just commit to just doing those skill sets that I have,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
And
Right.
not feel shame.
And not feel shame from it.
But that's why I brought up Joan Rivers, because she's just so like empowering that way.
Yeah, because I
like,
feel like
"Don't
you
do
need
that.
a lot
Don't
of
sweep."
people who are like, nope.
Yeah.
I think, and I
She was the
remember
only
it.
one.
Yeah, right. Tina Fey's, I remember in Bossy Pants, she talks about having a nanny, and
Yes,
she
she
goes,
does, yeah.
and what I thought it was pretty honest, because I remember her being like, and this also, I think Tina Fey has evolved a little bit more even since then, like understanding like her privilege and her perspective in this regard, just based on some other things she said. But she starts writing and she's like, and the person helps me take care of my, our babysitter or something. She was like, it's a nanny, okay?
Yeah.
It's a nanny.
When
I have a
it's
nanny,
the
and I feel
unspoken
guilty
thing.
about it.
Yeah, that no one can talk about,
Right.
So many moms are like, I'm the perfect housewife.
Yeah.
It's like, you have full-time staff.
Right.
But no one talks about it.
Yeah, I
It's
think
shameful.
that there's, and I think the culture that creates that is we're kind of just like imprisoning each other with it in a way.
Yeah.
Like,
and then we're not respecting, sorry, not to cut you off, but we're not respecting the people that are most important to our children either by not acknowledging
right,
them,
and
that
that
they're
are,
invisible.
I was going to say, like, I feel like if you are paying somebody fairly, you have like a friendly relationship with somebody, and you're like, you are a part of this entire economic plan and you're being treated like equally for it.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea. I think like that's and I think that I think there's a lot of power to you just saying that out loud.
Right.
Because I think that there's a lot of people who don't feel like they can say it.
Yeah.
And if we're not, then we're not fixing it.
Right.
And I think I think that both of us right now are even having imperfect like perspectives on it, but that we are saying that we are open and trying to figure out how to have better ones.
Well, because the truth is, when you're trying to run a household, if you're doing everything yourself, that's all you're doing.
Right.
Like, quite frankly, I'm doing too much. Like, I wish I were a woman that could a lot for getting more help.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I had a mom that did everything, so I feel like I have to do everything or I feel guilty.
Yeah, I'm the
so
same
I'm
way.
trying to really give myself more permission to
allow
allow for that.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think, but it is something we don't talk about in our culture.
Well, because women are uncompensated for doing everything.
Right. Anyway,
Oh,
so
no.
that's something,
Here, let me see
another
do you want me to
rabbit
see?
hole we can go down with
Wanna see
Jen.
if she can fix it.
Is it broken, sweetheart?
What do you think? Should we do an ending for the show? Want to help us?
Should we? Well, I do something really ridiculous.
Okay. You
that's
do?
totally also something that I borderline feel shame about, but I feel like, as a comedian and a woman, I keep trying to like, stop it, Alyssa. Whenever I say subscribe, tap the bell.
Yes.
I have all of the my guests, we like hit our asses and say tap the bell.
Great, love it.
It's like, and here's another thing. I'm like, Alyssa, but men get up there and they like
all the time
shake their wang doodle, and
they've built empires on it.
I know. And what are we?
We can do whatever we want.
And then my daughter's
No
sitting
shame.
here. She's like, "Why are you hitting your ass, Mom?" Anyways, I don't even know if I am in it now. Like,
what do you?
no, like I've been having
I'll
everyone,
get ready.
and then I cut it and like I try to do it in a way that's not like just totally like
Too much.
But I just
beauty.
go like tap the bell,
sorry,
tap the
clapping.
bell. Like I do that sort of thing. But I don't know. Maybe we could just like tap the bell. I don't know. Yeah, like tap the bell. I don't know. I can't. It's like, why can't I follow my comedic instincts without feeling shame as a woman? And it's like,
I don't know.
What
I
is
think
that?
It's a process.
Yeah.
I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm really like, I have no idea. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, do I say just like this? Is this
Right.
who I am? Is this who
Yeah.
I want to be? Or I could just stay them.
But see, that's the
I
thing.
spend
Men
more
don't
time
have a
thinking
filter
about it, yeah.
the way women do. We feel so much pressure.
Well, because the stuff that they put out has so much less like repercussions. Like,
absolutely,
it's
a real thing.
Yeah, you're a mom who makes comedy on the internet, and Like,
Yeah, what?
so you represent to a lot of people every mom, every woman, you know.
I saw a video of J-Lo, and it had 4.5 million views, and it's her talking about her process and learning how to do a strip pole dance, and she's like mostly naked, hanging off in one of her amazing.
I do want to see that movie.
Yeah, and now I kind of want to click just because I'm like, what is this ridiculousness?
Right. Yeah.
But if me as like no one knows who I am. I'm not famous. I am a mom. You know, I think if I posted a video like that, people would worry. Quite frankly, they would worry about my sanity.
People would be concerned.
Yeah, but she can build an empire on it
because
she's got a team and she knows what gets clicks and
and
it's totally fine because we're a capitalist society, right?
Yeah.
So if you're getting paid to do it, it's totally fine to be hoary as
allowed.
a mom. And you can be, by the way, she's also a saint.
Yes.
You know, I'm sure she's Christian and people see her, put her as like some ideal woman.
So I have a little takeaway.
Yeah, I want to hear it. Yeah.
Because this I thought was like, oh, this is this is a male perspective thing that you guys haven't been sharing with us. And now, my fiance and I went to visit friends. We landed and he like checked his phone and he looks at it and he goes, oh, I just sold an album. And I was like, you make music? I mean, I know that he makes music.
Yeah.
He he literally scores, he composes, he writes his own music for his YouTube channel, which like he doesn't even really like even say or talk about. And people will be like, what song is this? And like he's just like he just makes his own music. Whatever.
Wow.
I know.
That's a talent.
But he which I knew, but I didn't know that he had like 8 tracks in album form available for sale on the internet. And I was like, oh, that's really, I mean, frankly, it's just like, I was like, oh, that's smart. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
It didn't, like, you have the tools to do it. You did it yourself. You put it up. And he was like, yeah, it's less about, like, I'm going to make a bunch of money selling my music on the internet. And it's more about when I'm at a party or I'm in an interview or a meeting and people who have, like, this capitalist mindset of how things work, when they're like, oh, you make music? Do you make any money? He can be like, yes. And there's a lot
Straight
of power
face.
to that.
Right.
And even
it validates.
Yeah, it validates it. And so now that, even with Ladies Room, now that I've done the show a few times at Westside and have been able to like, okay, this is my money for promotion, this is my money for whatever, now I can pay comics. And like,
yeah,
I
that's
think
our alarm, I think.
Just the validation of like being able to just be like, yeah, I get paid for it.
Oh, you're breaking them now.
No. Here,
I think this might be an intentional ploy to
I think it's
get me to end this. But
yeah, it's like that validates
Absolutely.
women, and then they're validated to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. So
And it's pretty incredible, isn't it?
Even if it's just like a stupid amount of money that's not even remotely fair for the value that they're bringing.
That's
which
really
is really
interesting.
frustrating. So,
well, maybe I'll just get a few sponsors and then I won't feel bad about slapping my ass every week.
There you go.
All right, cool. Thank you so much, Jen. This has been amazing.
This is so fun. Thanks for having me
You
again.
are welcome anytime.
All right, I can't wait to come back.
Awesome.
I think we can fix this, but all right, bye.
Bye.